Hello my friends, I'm Al and welcome back to Al's Vinyl Collection for probably one of the most anticipated videos on this channel in recent times. Today we're going to be jumping in and watching Dire Straits performing Telegraph Road from Alchemy, which is their first live album in 1984. I'm really excited to watch this, I'm really excited. I've done a little bit of research into this, not into the song, I haven't watched anything. I just wanted to find out some of the gear used, a little bit of context around the album itself. And just just that. So really, no talking. You know the drill. We're not pausing this. If you want to skip to the analysis, it'll be some 12 minutes. We're just watching this and listening to this. Let's jump into it. See where this takes us. Wow, you know, I understand everything. When you guys said that this was the best version of the song, I get it. I get it. That was electric. That was incredible. The excitement on that stage, the excitement of the band. Wow. I love watching live concert films and recordings of concerts just to see the band. It's one thing to listen to a studio recording and it's one thing just to watch the band doing their things, but also to hear, or to see rather, who's actually playing and who we're listening to. I must say, I really, before I get into this song, I just really want to say that I've loved listening to Dire Straits. Really, really love them. So I went to France. I'm recording this a few days after getting back. And we were in a supermarket and they had a vinyl section. And they have the Private Investigations best of Mark Knopfler and Dire Straits. And that was the easiest purchase of my life. I saw it. I thought that's coming back with me. I'm loving what I'm listening to. But this performance was just a masterclass in live dynamics, and you know, from a sound engineering perspective, but also, so I have done some research on the track, like I mentioned earlier. This is famously authentic. Now, unlike a lot, I'm going to say almost every kind of major live album of the 80s, but I might be doing a discredit to some. Alchemy was released with virtually zero studio overdubs. Now I'm saying virtually because I don't want to definitively say no studio overdubs, or there are some. So please let me know, because I did, you know, I did do kind of research into the equipment and the gear, but that was what I was more interested in. But you know, what you're hearing is the actual stage volume, you know, the natural bleed into open microphones. We're hearing the unfiltered acoustics of the Hammersmith Apollo, which is really one of my favorite venues for live shows like this. The 1975 Springsteen show there as well is one of my favorite records that I own and shows to watch. But, you know, I want to touch on this kind of authentic aspect because two of my favorite live albums from the period notoriously do have overdubs, which somewhat ruined listening to them, knowing that you're not hearing the exact audio on the night like we are here. And that's AC/DC Live, although that's 1991. And the Springsteen 75 to 85 box set. I'm aware there are overdubs for both. You know, some more than others, but it makes this show really special that this is just purely authentic audio. The piano was beautiful. It was beautiful. It really was. And I think the pianist was really, at points, carrying the track and carrying the performance. But also that setup on stage, just being boxed in by synthesizers and keys and pianos is just incredible. I love it. I love it. It's something really special to look at. Now, what I was interested in with this song is, with this performance rather, is that Mark is not playing a Fender Stratocaster. He's playing a custom Schecter Stratocaster, which would have had overwound pickups, which provided a significantly hotter output and a much thicker transient response. Now, because Mark plays with his fingers instead of a pick, the sound engineer on the night would have had to have left a massive amount of headroom in the mix just to capture the sheer dynamic range of his finger-picking attack. But I mean, just listen, when we're going through, just listen to the volume swells during the quiet passages. It's incredible. Mark is heavily utilizing a volume pedal, which I was wondering about when I first listened to the studio version, but obviously we can see it here. His pedal board itself is incredible. I've never seen one so large. But, you know, he's riding the volume pedal signal you know, right on the edge of his amplifier's natural breakup, which is just incredible. As the track develops, the mix kind of almost slowly compresses just from this, just from the sheer, let's say, the acoustic energy in the room, I think is a good way to describe this. We have drum overheads, which as things are starting to pick up and become a little bit more lively, they're picking up the guitar amplifiers. We have the bass frequencies, which are beginning to couple with the stage. And this entire mix just gels into a massive, almost kind of runaway train of sound, of beautiful noise. And I touched on the energy at the start, but it was so much fun watching these guys bouncing around the stage and enjoying themselves. And that's what music should be. This is a brilliant example of a live mix relying on the musician's internal volume balance rather than an engineer riding the faders. And that's a really special thing. One other example of this is Angus Young from AC/DC. He has a real tendency to ride the volume knob on his guitar to provide a hotter output. But yeah, amazing performance, beautiful performance. And I'm just so grateful to have experienced this with you all. So thank you for letting me experience this with you, and thank you for experiencing this with me. It really is a special thing to listen to this music with you all that you love. Let me know where you want to go from here. By all means, I can pick another Dire Straits track or one of Mark's solo tracks to listen to, but I think there's something special about you guys sharing what you want me to listen to, and we can listen to it together. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. It's been a real hoot. I just want to say very, very quickly that over 97% of people aren't subscribed. If you like what you see, please do consider subscribing. It helps with the channel's exposure and it helps the channel grow. But you don't have to. Just you being here and watching this video is enough. So thank you so much. I've loved every second of this, and I will see you in the next video.